We are back with another edition of the Quarantinecast. I'm always excited to do these, but it always feels extra special when I get to know the guy a little bit beforehand. We've been talking for a little while now, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Everything's like in order, like weight's on track. Body feels great. I'm hydrated, eating well. So, focused, ready to go.
I love it, man. It's an interesting time because like the pandemic and everything like that. It's really difficult, especially for fighters. How has the past couple of years been on you in terms of training and things like that?
Training here in Alaska, things were a little more lax than everywhere else down in the States. So my training basically never stopped. I mean, like the gym's closed, but um, it was in the summer, and then by the time the summer was over, everything was kind of already like opening back up to like where you had to wear a mask or face covering to go into the gyms and stuff like that. So we kind of got lucky that it was at the beginning of like spring and winter, but although it sucked because we couldn't do everything we wanted. So I stayed training throughout the whole time. It was hard trying to find a fight, and like all the travel restrictions and COVID testings and some states needing like the vaccination and stuff like that. So, it was tough, but it was good.
Yeah, there's definitely some perks to being isolated because Alaska is just like way up there, right? Like it's not even attached to any other state. But then there's also that negative that comes with it. It's like, you've got to fly to get fights. Obviously they have a promotion there, but they don't put on shows every week like other areas. But yeah, man, you've got a big fight coming up, man. How are you feeling? You're just a couple weeks out. How are you feeling?
I feel great. Like I was saying, I might be moved up to the main event. Some guys had to drop out, which is, unfortunate, but opportunities present themselves. So I'm excited if I get that main event spot. It's just like, I love that type of pressure. So, it excites me. I feel good.
Yeah, you're facing Mike Otwell. Both of you have 4-4 records. Your records are virtually identical. You're both on a little skid. It almost feels like, it was meant to be. How do you view him as an opponent?
I view him as going to be like a challenge. I know he's a black belt, he's done taekwondo and stuff like that. So I didn't look him up at all. I just looked up to see what he looked like real quick and, get a little quick background. But I'm excited. I think this is going to be a great scrap. Some things that I need to prove that I haven't proved in my last matches. But, I'm going in there without caring. I'm going to go have fun. I care about the fight, but I'm just going to have fun with it. No footage on this guy. So we're worried about me.
Is that something you typically do? Like you avoid watching them and you more focus on what you're going to do? Or is that something you're doing different for this fight?
It's something that I did different for this fight and a little bit of the last fight. It just helps get rid of the distractions. Like I don't have to worry about anything. And I felt that it was getting in the way of me actually being the person who I am in there. So definitely like new to this one, but I did a little bit on the last one. Like I watched the footage of my last opponent, but it didn't turn out so well. So
you're fighting up in the Northeast. You're fighting in Maryland. Not many shows go on in Maryland. Have you ever been over there? And if not, are you excited to kind of sightsee as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've been over there. It's been about 10 years. I'm from Penns Grove, New Jersey, actually. So I visit over there. My family's over there. I got grandparents. My dad's over there. Cousins are over there. So I would visit, but it's been about 10, 12 years now since I've been back. So I'm excited to go back over there and actually be competing and being able to go show out.
Oh, that's awesome. Are you going to be able to bring people to the event or is it just kind of like, I'm going to go do this and then get back home and not really focus too much on family?
No, I got a cornerman flying down with me, but if people choose to come out and support me, then they can, but I'm not banking on anybody coming out. Like I've flown out a few times out of state where it's literally just me and no cornerman. Like I'm just going to meet some guy and I'm going to, compete by myself. So, no, I don't, having people there doesn't bother me. If they're there, great. But if not, then I'm there to do my job, and my job's to fight. So
You said you have a cornerman coming with you. Who is going to be the lucky guy going on that trip?
So it was gonna be my brother Anthony Sierra. We were gonna be traveling together, but some things popped up. So it's going to be the guy who kind of got me into fighting. Like he got me into boxing. His name is Nelson Guardo. So he has family as well and friends on the East Coast. So it's gonna be kind of great. Like we both got people that are gonna come and see us.
You mentioned your brother Anthony. I have two brothers myself, and I mean, we've all three of us shared passion with soccer. I can only imagine what your guys' bond is, being able to bond over fighting. What's it like having him training with you day in and day out?
It's great. He's definitely my motivation, and I can tell him a little bit of his motivation. We push each other to the limits. Um, we're always the hardest trainers in the rooms. Like we're pushing everybody, or if it's just us, like we're going 110%, like on the pads, on CrossFit, on body training, on sparring. Like we're doing full technical, like great sparring. So it's good, man. I love sparring with my brother and training with him. Especially having him in my corner. Like there's nothing like the Sierra Bros. Like once you have us, like it's game over.
Is it a goal to possibly compete on the same card, same night?
Eventually, yeah. Eventually, that is. We've done like a little bit like of backyard fights here in Anchorage, Alaska. Like they have like Thursday night fights and stuff like that. They're like little boxing matches. But we've been on the same card there. So yeah, definitely want to be on the same card in the big show sometime.
I do want to talk about that Alaskan regional scene because it's like nowhere else you've ever seen. I mean, Alaska FC has some great events. It's just like it's in a parking lot. What's it like being able to just like compete there? Like it just seems so cool.
So the like competing outside, we just had to start doing that because of COVID. Like we had our main arena was helping doing like COVID testings and helping people. But now like school's back open and they don't want to have anybody other than school. So like they want to keep everything clean. But it's fun. It's like the Wild West. It's way different than anywhere I've ever been. There's no commission up here, so there's no commission, but we're still on UFC Fight Pass with AFC. So it's interesting the way everything is kind of put together. It's a little more relaxed than the places that I've been, which would be nice to kind of integrate some of the things. Opponents are a little harder to find. They come literally out of the boonies from nowhere over here. So, yeah, it's interesting scenes. Wild West.
I want to talk a little bit about your MMA background. I mean, like you said, you're from New Jersey. You ended up in Alaska somehow. How did you find MMA? I mean, it just seems like there's so many other things that one could be doing, but yet you ended up finding mixed martial arts.
So we were living up here in Alaska from like 97, and then around 2008, we flew down to Texas. And we did a boarding school down in Texas. Me, my brother Anthony, and I got two other brothers, but it was three of us, the three younger ones. We went down to Texas and we started wrestling down there. And I did football, I did basketball, I did track, I did like every sport that you could possibly think of. But if we lost on like football or basketball, I worked really hard. You guys didn't work hard enough, so you guys need to work harder. But in wrestling, it's like fighting. You're going out there by yourself. You train with the team, but you're going out there and you're competing on yourself. So if you lose, either you didn't do everything that you were supposed to do, or that person was just working harder than you. So it's a really like humbling sport. And once like I got old enough and I got into boxing, and I was like, wow, I can do this for a sport and I can get paid for this. Like, I would love to do this. So it just started from there. Like 14, I picked up the boxing gloves for the first time, and haven't looked back since.
I love it, man. I love that story. Everyone's got a different story, but it's always either wrestling or high school fights or whatever it happens to be. But everyone's story is slightly different.
Yeah.
I love it, man. And I also noticed I noticed there's a Puerto Rican flag on your Tapology. I'm from Spain. What does it mean to represent Latin America in any capacity?
I love it, man. Taino Indian from Puerto Rico, and we got a bunch of family over there, and I go visit, which the last time I visited was a few years ago, with the pandemic and everything, but it's nice. It just brings we have a different type of spirit, we bring something to the table that nobody brings, and that's all I can say. Like, I just love it. It's a little spice.
The passion there, like the passion in Latin America is unlike anything else.
Yeah, and you got to chase, and like it, and no matter what a Latin American is doing, as like, if they have passion, whatever they're doing is great.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about MMA. So I'm passionate about MMA, and on the 16th of October, you guys are gonna figure it out.
All right, man. I love it. I love it. I guess we'll end on this note. Is there anybody you want to shout out or social media you like to plug before we end it?
Like to shout out a couple sponsors. Nelson, he sponsors my gym membership up here at Legacy. I'd like to shout out Jen Jarvis. She, helps me with travel expenses and things that I need up here. My girlfriend, Cariña, she's the one that holds it down so that I can, train and eat food and, stay alive. And then, just everybody that helps you train. We have Patrick White. He just competed in the Contender Series and just had a war. Giovanni De Vera, Maurice Mitchell, Carlton Minus, who's currently competing, I believe, in the UFC. I don't know if his contract ends. I think he has one more fight on his contract. But, just everybody that helps me train, man. It's an honor to be able to, like, do everything that I do and, work on and actually compete it and turn it into something that's, like, great.